The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, my name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got a special guest making his record break and probably adding to the record. He probably already had the record.
Yep.
Host of Let Freedom Ring, Dan Beaulieu.
Hey, good to see you, Leo.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Yeah, I think it's been about a year since the last my
That's
last
crazy.
appearance.
I didn't think it was that long.
Yeah, I think last December. So it's good to be back.
Yes.
Good to be back.
Episode 199.
Yeah, it's quite the honor.
Yes. Got to tell you guys, Dan had me on, and I only thought I was on the show twice, and he proved it to me yesterday that I've been on it 3 times.
The first ever guest.
Yes.
And then the first
27.
guest. Yeah, and the first guest back in studio.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Leo Connor's Appreciation Day.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. It was unbelievable. He gave me an AEW Belt Appreciation Day. It was pretty awesome. I really want to thank you for that. It was awesome.
That was a good one.
And next week, we might only have one guy in here.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Mav might not be able to come because of change in states. He lives in Mass.
Oh,
he doesn't
really?
want to have to quarantine.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be just me and Sonny or if it's going to be me, Sonny, and Mav. We'll find out. But let's get right in. We got a lot of fan questions.
Yeah.
And then I got this new segment I want to play.
Okay.
And then we'll just go through Talk Chaotic Wrestling like crazy.
Sounds good to me.
Because I miss it.
I miss it a lot.
Chaotic Wrestling. I miss all wrestling. Don't get me wrong. But that's the shows me and you always went to.
Friday nights, every couple of weeks, that's where I wanted to be.
Yep.
So it's been rough.
Yeah,
It's been
it
rough.
has
I
been
miss
rough.
that,
Speaking of that, though, I asked you before we went on air.
Yeah.
If you saw Twitter. Christian posted a picture the other day like a full ball. Dude, it's jacked. He is jacked, looking good.
He's got to be the next guy that, I'd have to assume that gets
I
signed.
could see it him. Honestly, Shannon Thomas is really good. Don't let Alec Price slip by either. There's a lot of good young talent. The kid I had last week, AJ Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like I said, Channing, Alec, CJ Cruz.
Yeah.
Ricky Archer. DL Hurst is still fairly young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Has he done anything during the quarantine? I haven't seen.
But hardly anybody has.
No, I know.
You
I
know what
haven't. I haven't seen anything
Right.
on. I haven't seen him post or anything.
I haven't either.
You
That's
know?
true.
So
Maybe we'll have to look into that. We got
Yeah,
go home
yeah.
and check our social media.
Want to see some DL Hurst?
Yes. All right. So Dan, first question is from Fernando Horton.
Yep.
Is he related to Nathan, the ex-Bruin?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But he is a Lowell guy.
He's a Lowell guy?
Well, he's a Lawrence guy, but he works in Lowell. So he's
All right. Well,
Lawrence.
Lawrence ain't bad anymore
Yeah.
because Maria's from Lawrence. So
Okay.
I don't, you know what I mean? I don't look down on Lawrence anymore.
Yeah. All right.
All
Fair
right.
enough.
So Fernando, you're all set with it. Plus, you work in Lowell.
Yeah.
All right. I love this question. This is really good. Sting signs a multi-year deal with AEW at the age of 61. Somebody had to ask this, and I'm so happy. How do you guys feel about this?
Fine.
Because I think we're going to have different answers.
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Facebook got a little bit annoying the other
Yeah,
day.
I'm sure it
How
did.
much
I'm sure it did.
complaining. When I saw Sting come out, I was excited. I've always been a Sting fan. I was a little Stinger back in the day,
Were you? Yeah.
you know. And so, listen, does he need to wrestle every week? No. Are you going to put in maybe some tag matches here? Is it cool to have his presence on TV? Yeah, I don't care if he's 61.
Right.
Don't run the guy into the ground though.
Right.
And he should know that.
Right. I think the only thing I like about it is they seem to be doing something with him and Darby Allin.
Yeah.
To try to, it will definitely, if they do that, it should elevate Darby even more.
Yeah.
Which is what they want to do.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sign a 61-year-old guy and he's going to help elevate talent, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been a Stinger.
Oh, really?
Never.
Yeah, I've always.
Probably because I'm almost his age, so I could never be a little Stinger, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I never hated him or anything. But I used to joke around and call him Steak.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
remember you saying,
You know,
I'm not a big fan.
But pretty much by the time Sting came around, I was more liking heels than good guys anyways. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So, but I do think it's crazy to sign a guy that's 61 years old to a full-time wrestling contract. Like you said, if he's going to wrestle part-time and, maybe mentor maybe work Darby Allin's corner, do something, other things.
Yeah.
That's good. And it gives a guy a paycheck.
I mean, you have Arn Anderson there,
Yep.
Tully Blanchard, Taz, they're all doing great stuff. If you have Sting do a few things here and there, ring wise, it's not. I just people got really upset about it. I'm like,
Yeah, no,
I'd rather see Sting than not see Sting.
Right. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Because, I mean, I thought it was cool. I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world, but I think it was cool.
It's Sting.
Yes,
I love Sting.
I hate it. A lot of people do.
Yeah,
A lot
so-
of people do.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet somebody tried to, it was Renee Moxley's girl.
Okay.
She tried to do the ow, the
Yeah,
Sting,
yeah.
and she went, woo, and she was like, oh, I think that was more like Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I was laughing because she did the Ric Flair. She did not do the Sting. Yow.
I will say that I loved Surfer Blonde Sting more.
Did you really?
I mean, I loved Sting
Right.
growing up. And the Crow gimmick has been great. I mean,
Right.
that's what he's
Oh, yeah.
ran with, since 96. So
Yeah. I'm just disappointed that we never got the Undertaker Sting match. That should have happened when Sting was, 51.
yeah. A lot of matches.
You know what I mean? No, I would have loved to have seen that then.
They've dropped the ball in all types of matches. I mean,
Oh, they've been dropping
What-
the ball left and right. All right, I'll say it. Okay? I'll
Yeah.
say it right here on my show. You were right. Vince buries Ricochet.
I know.
I hate saying it, but it's true.
Can't even win matches against Retribution.
That's
so
ridiculous. I can't believe it. Seriously. I really can't.
the Ricochet's problem is he just can't talk. When I hear him speak, I go, yeah, nothing. But
he
in
got
ring
over
is great.
Everywhere else, though, and he didn't have to talk. That's the thing.
Yeah, I agree, but I think WWE is
You know?
harder to get.
I think if he gets out of that contract, you'll
Yeah.
see how 10 times different Ricochet at AEW because
Yeah.
they will go after him because they love the kid.
I have a feeling he'll be there whenever
Right.
whenever he can be. So
So, what did you think about last night, Austin?
yeah,
It was me all along.
yeah. I actually posted in one of my wrestling groups picture. I met Austin Theory.
Yeah,
at,
I saw
at
it.
the Evolve
That's
show.
why I brought it up
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, happy. I mean, I think he got a raw deal. I know why they took him off TV.
Right.
Anybody can say anything about anybody on Twitter.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, he's a young kid. Good to see him back. I watched the promo of him and Gargano calling him his son and all this other stuff. He goes,
I
"Oh,
didn't
let's go,"
see that.
and then he's like, "Let's go play catch." And it's really funny. It kind of reminds me of when Del Monte and MJF did that in Chaotic.
Okay.
Remember when
yeah.
Del Monte grabbed MJF
Yes.
by the ear? And yeah, so I'm happy. He's a
Right.
great talent.
Yeah,
you know.
that was really cool though. When he took it off, I was pretty excited to see
Yeah.
him there again. All right, I was wondering where he's been because
Yeah.
I know they took him off the, but then they put him back on TV for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
then he disappeared again. I don't know if he got hurt.
They might have just not known where to go with it.
Right,
You
right.
know, I think Gargano will help him.
Oh, definitely, man. Johnny's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know, so
All right, Bobby Williams, which is your brother, Bobby.
yep.
Dan, your show, Let Freedom Ring, has been on since the pandemic started. What was it like starting a political show that airs weekly in this political climate? This is another good question.
Yeah, and I asked him about this. And my show is not just a political show.
No, but you have some politics. on
Politics
it, though.
is part.
Current events.
It is part
Yeah.
of the show. Why it's called Let Freedom Ring is because it's supposed to be everything America,
Right.
which is many different things, not
Yep.
just our politics.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I started the show and then the pandemic hit within episode 4, I think is when everything started locking down. So it was kind of like, I've always wanted to do this. And I was like, I waited until a pandemic hits.
Right.
Never lived through a pandemic. But I was able to make the show still work on Skype. I had a lot of great guests on it.
Right.
Joey Eastman came on, Brian Malonis.
Now, does Joey come on as himself?
He went back and forth kind of.
okay.
Because he started off as Sydney.
Yeah.
But I think some of the questions he legit wanted to answer.
Right,
And he went back to, Joey. And he was a great interview.
Right.
Had a lot of great, as far as this political climate, I let everybody on.
Right.
So I don't try to censor different views. I don't, as a guy who leans left, I have conservative guests on
Right.
all the time.
Yep.
And as long as you're respectful to other individuals, you really shouldn't have any problems with it.
Right.
You
You
know?
haven't had any problems on your show so far, right?
No. I mean, like I want to hear what people think.
Right.
And I'm going to be respectful to that opinion.
Right.
We get into a lot of stuff on Facebook and other social platforms where it's not face to face.
Right.
And you got these internet tough guys and girls, I should say.
It's ridiculous.
And, I think having a conversation, sitting down with somebody, you're going to get more to the root of what they believe and what they think than running your mouth on Facebook.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I cannot stand the internet tough guys.
Yeah.
All right. Bobby has another question. Is there a lot of pushback due to the high volume of politics? He's really pushing these politics on.
Pushback from who? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Is there a lot of pushback due to the high volume of politics? People not want to answer questions, maybe?
And I'm pretty fair. I send the agenda.
Yeah.
And I'm not there to get people in gotcha situations. I do have people that say, I'd love to do the show, but I don't want to talk about that segment. And I go, that's a segment on my show.
Yeah.
You don't have to say too much.
Right.
And if there's a topic you really don't want to talk about, well, then we're not going to talk about it. But I will say that some people, they're very scared to discuss that.
Wow.
Some people say, if my work ever heard my opinions, I wouldn't have a job.
Wow.
I go, that's kind of crazy, but all right.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
So yeah, I get pushed back, but I think if you've watched some of the episodes, you can really see, in my opinion, it's my show, so maybe I'm biased. You can see a left-leaning person like me and a conservative, right, have great conversations.
Right.
And I think that's what we need more of.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
But just for the record, it's not just a political show. We talk about sports, pop culture, current events, everything.
It's an awesome show.
All
right. Dave Forney, he's got a whole bunch. First, he says he has been on 9 times. That's crazy.
I had a big run in 2018, 2019.
Yeah, you had a huge run. If I would have had a title belt then, you would have been the champ.
Yeah.
All right. So he says, here are my questions. When do you think we will see indie pro wrestling back running full time?
Depends on where you are, because there is independent shows that are running across the country.
Yes.
Around here, I've heard Fauci talk a lot, and he has been our go-to guy for the country, and he feels by the end of the summer, because I'd love to go to an independent wrestling match, but I'd love to go to a baseball game.
Right. No,
and just be outside,
Right.
Hopefully in 2021.
Right. I hope so too. By the summer, no later than that. I want to go to concerts too.
Yeah.
I miss my concerts. I go to a couple concerts every couple months,
Yep. And I think what this pandemic has taught us is that, take advantage of the time that you have here and go to things.
Yep.
Because it could be taken away just like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
So.
Makes me want to go to more wrestling shows.
Yeah.
And luckily, my girlfriend is all for it, because then I'm not in the house talking her ear off. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I could go to wrestling shows Friday, Saturday, so she wouldn't even care.
Yeah.
As long as I come home. That's
Yeah.
all she cares about. So
I
as I come home.
like I said, I miss my Friday nights at Chaotic Wrestling.
too.
I really do.
Me too. And I feel the same. Massachusetts is going to probably take the longest, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
And that's where we like to go to most of our shows are in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Most of them.
And hopefully, they could run in New Hampshire. I know I did see some interesting stuff where people I don't want to get the license because it's really not worth what you're getting paid to get the license on top of it.
Is it only like $25 or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
you would think as a professional wrestler, you'd want that license just to have.
Well, just to get eyes on you.
Right.
Right. I don't think a lot of indie wrestlers care about the paycheck that they get at the end of that show.
Right.
They might. I don't know. I don't think it's, so.
Yep. I mean, even some of the more successful independent wrestlers still work good full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And some of these guys are pretty successful. They probably wouldn't live as good a life as they're living, obviously, because, they have a good paying job. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. Dave's got another question here. Who do you think will be the next from the indie scene to be picked up by WWE? Now, you just said it.
It's tough. I think I think Christian Casanova. I've said this for years.
Right.
It's tough because when you look at how AG got signed, right? He got into Evolve earlier.
Yeah.
Josh Briggs, they got to Evolve.
Right.
They had a lot of eyes on them.
Absolutely.
And that was a gateway to WWE.
Yep.
Christian, unfortunately, never did get signed by Evolve.
Right.
They were brought in. But he'd be my top guy around here.
Yep.
It's tough because there really hasn't been that many shows. Looks like the Sea Stars were on Impact. That
Yeah.
could help them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to get to WWE, but
Right.
you have Tasha Steelz on Impact. I don't
Yep.
know if that will ever lead to her getting to WWE. If people that aren't signed somewhere, I'd probably go Christian a lot. I can't really think of anybody else. I mean, Ace Romero is an Impact too.
Yes. JT Dunn, maybe.
Maybe JT Dunn.
would look good at any one of those TV
He
companies.
shares a lot of posts, and I go, wow, he's worked with everybody.
Yeah.
He really has.
He
I'm
has.
like, so it'd be nice to see him go somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I was hoping him and Superman there. Well, I can't think of his name. The
Chris
guy-
Hero.
No.
Oh, Mike Verna.
Mike Verna.
Yeah.
I was hoping him and JT Dunn were going to get, because I remember the AEW show I went to, they were in the stands.
Oh, they were.
They were there. So I was hoping that, those guys would get signed, but we'll see. AEW signed a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right with Christian, but there's a lot of young, like I was saying, a lot of young talent. Channing Thomas got a great look,
yeah.
European style. I mean, I could see him. Don't sleep on Alec Price, CJ Cruz, the Victorious BRG, AJ Phoenix, Ricky Archer, and DL Hurst, and CJ Cruz. I didn't want to, and I probably left a bunch of kids out, but
Yeah,
I wanted to
and-
make sure the ones that I.
And you know what? Now that Chaotix got their show that
Yeah.
they're going to be put up, you're going to get some eyes on them again.
Right.
Because during the pandemic,
Yes.
it's really hard to get signed by WWE when you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Or you're not being
Right.
on TV, anywhere. So
Absolutely. I was surprised that the WWE keeps bringing in more guys with how everything is, how they're
Yeah.
not making more money everywhere. Because,
I mean, they're making big profits for this pandemic. So, when they did that big layoff, it might have been unnecessary.
right.
But that's
Right.
neither here nor there.
All right. All right. So Dave has another question. What are your favorite chaotic wrestling matches?
All time, there's one that sticks in my head is Chase Del Monte, Adam Booker, the ladder match.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good
and the
match.
little PAV, which was unbelievable. I wish I could find that match somewhere.
Right.
I'd love to watch
Yeah.
it again. I loved Scotty Slade in the AG match where
Yep.
they did the video, and they came. Remember that, like Summer Chaos 2018.
Oh, well, was that around when he was getting engaged and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was a good match.
They did something that WWE they kind of did what WWE did with some of these what do you call it?
Cinematic.
Cinematic.
shit. Yeah. I know what
They
you're
were already doing that. And it was really entertaining.
Right.
So that's I don't remember what the stipulation was of it. It was like a
Was he going
retro.
to be the best man or something?
Or it was like it was Scotty Slade versus AG. I think AG was still a heel at the time.
Oh, okay.
And oh my God, what was it called? Retro something. And it was
Retrosexual?
Well, the match was
Oh,
like
the match
retro.
was called
So
retro
like they
something.
started off in
I
Woburn.
must not have been there.
Yeah, you were.
Was I there?
Maybe you weren't there.
I don't
It was,
think I was.
Summer Chaos 2018. That Sky Slade
Right.
Anthony
Yeah, I
Green
don't think
match
I
was
was at
great.
that show.
And I'll throw out one of my favorite things that I've seen was the night Malonis lost to Sean Burke, and Sherman cashed in and won the title.
Right.
And that place was just a party that night
Crazy.
in
huh?
Woburn.
Was that the PAV too? Or was
No,
that
Woburn,
Woburn?
which I miss a lot. I
Right.
miss Woburn a lot. Hopefully, when the pandemic's back, we can go to shows in Woburn.
That would be pretty awesome.
There's so many though. It's a top they a lot of stuff that the last match with Warbeard Hansen.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
What about it opened up one of the shows, Killanova versus the Mill City
Yeah.
Hooligans. That match was unreal.
I wish that I could have that Cold Fury on DVD so I could rewatch it because that
right.
you
That
know
show was awesome.
that show was great, and you're standing in line going like, oh my God, we got to get in there, we
Yeah.
got to get in there,
Yep.
and to start that way. So there's just so many, but those are the ones that stick out in my head right now.
Nice. All right. How about, he says, are you still salty about Scotty Slade didn't get the chaotic title?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. I've actually asked Scotty Slade to come on my show. Hopefully he can do it. We're talking. Maybe it's a Skype thing because I think he lives in Rhode Island.
Right. He lives all the way down there.
I'm pretty sure he lives in
around
Rhode
here.
Island.
Wow.
Yeah, and the whole storyline was going to a main event where
Right.
you think Slade's going to win the title.
Yep.
And I love Brian Fury, but they put it on Fury, and I was very disappointed.
I hear you.
And I didn't understand the need to keep Sherman and Slade, even though it was like the hottest act.
Yeah.
Sherman already had the title.
Right.
At that point, to split them, maybe Scotty goes heel in the match or something. I would have been very happy to see him win that
Right.
title. So yes, Dave, I'm still a little salty
He's
about
still
it.
a little salty. All right. I'll be easy on this one, will you? Who do you think would win a match between me and Sonny Goodspeed.
Oh, so good.
I'm from Lowell. Did I tell you that?
What type?
from Lowell.
What do we think the stipulation is here? I mean,
Sonny has to wrestle me with both his hands tied behind his back.
fair enough. Maybe it's a draw. You know,
Even with his hands behind his
yeah,
back.
maybe it's still. You know, I could see a headbutt that leads to you both being knocked out.
Right.
But it'd be great to see. Sonny is someone I gotta ask if he ever is interested to come on. 'Cause I keep
He's
dropping
off.
this.
That's all right.
Sorry, Dick.
A whole bunch of people have been doing it.
Yeah.
Lately. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
he's
happens a lot here.
You know, but oh, there we go.
But yeah, no, I think Sonny would beat me too. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
And Sonny's a very just entertaining guy.
He's
He really
wicked
is. Even when you just have a conversation with him, he's always trying to entertain.
Yeah.
I get that feeling.
I mean, I got a picture of me, him, and Mav. I was standing behind him, and they're laughing, and I'm like all puzzled.
Yeah.
So I'm like, guess I wasn't in on the joke, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be great. He hasn't been on in a while either.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse Martin, Kenny Omega showing up on Impact. What do you think of this?
Love it.
And this will be tomorrow night.
I absolutely love it. I you know, at the end of AEW, I thought that was a big shocker at the end of the show. You know, Don Callis was there, and in my head I go, okay, so why is Don Callis there? I understand Kenny wants him to call his matches.
Right.
But I didn't think, you know, when he eventually gets involved, I go, okay.
Isn't he from Winnipeg too, Don? I know he's from Canada. I think
he
he's
might
from,
be.
Yeah, I think he's from Winnipeg too.
Maybe, yeah, he might be. He's one of the most underrated wrestling minds ever.
No doubt about it.
Why Vince? I heard, you know, I had heard in a shoot interview or something, Vince had all these plans for him,
Right.
and then just never.
Yeah, because he
never
was
did
the
anything
leader
with
of the Truth Commission.
Yeah,
The Jackal.
Yeah, the Jackal was great. And then when he went on commentary at ECW, I never, you know, a lot of people liked Joey Styles by himself. I didn't care for it.
Right.
I thought when you brought in Cyrus,
He was awesome.
it was great chemistry between the two of them.
Absolutely.
I loved it. When he said he's coming to Impact, I said, you know what? Wrestling needs this.
Absolutely.
Wrestling needs this.
It does.
So I love it. Some people were complaining about it. I'm like, how can you complain about it? And the other thing is, Impact has been fantastic.
Yeah.
With
I've
no
been watching
crowd.
it. I've been watching it for a while now.
It's a great show. So to all the haters that are hating on that, I don't know why you're a wrestling fan.
Right.
You'll find anything to complain about.
Yep.
You know, so
That's crazy.
yeah.
I just think it's so awesome to see that two companies, both, you know what I mean? That obviously they both would love to be better and, you know, than Vince McMahon's WWE. But they know they can do this together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll tell you, I expect Impact to have more views than they've probably ever had.
I can't wait for it, and I can't wait for AEW on Wednesday. I would love them to do like an annual. I was watching Starrcade 95,
Okay.
and they did the Cup where it was New Japan versus WCW.
Oh, yeah.
What if it was like Impact every year versus AEW, and they did this
That would
big
be
show,
really cool.
and each year there's a cup for it or
Right.
something? I would love to see that.
I think that's a really good idea.
You know, so we'll see where this goes. I'm excited. This is the most I've been excited probably all year.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
what about, no, it's kind of interesting too. Sting just debuts on AEW, and now they're going to Impact.
Yeah, they're gonna have some Sting footage to use.
You know,
So no.
That makes me a little interested in Sting in that aspect of like, wow, what's going to happen over there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's going to be on Impact as with AEW. That's just, he hasn't been on Impact in how long? At least 6 years, right? More longer than that, right?
See, signed with WWE in 2014. So
Okay.
I saw him wrestle Bully Ray at Slammiversary 2013. So
Okay,
I think
so
2013 was probably his
6-7
last.
years.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
So
All right. Last question. How do you see this? How do you see this going, Jesse?
the whole
Yeah.
like I said, I hope it turns into a pay-per-view Impact versus AEW.
Right. I think it'd be awesome.
I think right now you're gonna boost. I mean, let's be honest. I was so bored with what they were doing with Kenny Omega.
Right.
He should be a champion,
Yeah.
a world champion. And a heel Kenny Omega is going to be even better.
Yeah.
So that's going to make me want to watch,
Right.
even if they weren't doing the Impact stuff. So I see this going really well. I'm very curious to what he says on Tuesday, and I think you can really go with the fact that AEW was not utilizing Kenny Omega, and I'm sure he agreed to that, but they were not utilizing Kenny Omega the way that Kenny Omega needs to be utilized.
And now they are.
And now this is going to be huge.
Yes, I agree.
So,
All right, couple questions on chaotic wrestling. First, what differences do you expect with Chase running the show?
yeah, I don't know if he's going to be the head guy making. Yeah, he is. He's the owner.
He's the owner.
But I don't know. Who's
the booker?
Who's the guy? What's the podcast with Julian Starr? And,
Tarzan.
And
He
he's
was a
always
booker before.
Hey, I was a booker.
he was
you
a
know.
booker before.
So I don't know who's calling the shots there. I think it's going to be fine. I think they're going to run these great shows, and hopefully, again, the live shows are really what makes chaotic wrestling.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, I think I don't. I know Chase from social media and seeing him at the shows. I think he has a general love of professional wrestling, and I think that he really loves that the Pro Wrestling Academy. So I think they're in good hands.
I do too. I really do. There's a few guys that I guess that own a piece of the school, but if I'm not mistaken, Chase owns Chaotic by himself.
Yeah, I think at this, and
could be wrong.
And I will say, I think Brian Fury had really loved what he was doing too.
Oh yeah.
So I think they're in good hands because if you're passionate,
Yep.
and it seems like he really is, then you really can't go wrong.
Right. Excellent. All right, second one. What do you expect and hope to see from the Thursday shows that they're going to put on?
I don't know what to think. So it looks like, Christian's still the champ. I believe it was Davion and JT Dunn were tag champs.
Yes.
Ava was the women's champ.
Yep. And DL was New England?
New England?
Was he still
maybe.
Oh, him or Verna? No, wait a minute. Who
Wow.
was the New England champ?
It wasn't,
I don't even
I don't know.
remember.
And it's been that long.
See how long it's been?
It's been long. I don't know who had the New England title. So I didn't see in the promotional stuff, I didn't see DL Hurst in there. Doesn't mean he's not there. I didn't see him.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I know Brett Domino dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, well, when all that stuff came out on Twitter, he made a long post about how upset he was.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And that was the first time we'd heard anything from him. But I think it's gonna be great. Like I think we want to see it.
Right.
We want to see these characters. We want to see these wrestlers. We all support them. They're all the local, people. So I'm looking really forward to it. I don't know what to expect.
Right.
I really don't. So I'm curious to see. But I think it'll be entertaining.
Right. Did they say it was going to be an hour show or 2 hour show?
You know what? They didn't. No, they didn't.
Say anything.
I'm hoping it's at least an hour.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be at least be an hour. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Jared Doomling. I know that we are all happy for Retro AG. Austin Gray.
Yeah.
Anthony Green. My question is, how do you feel about his name change to Austin Gray? I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but would support him regardless. Just happy that he got to keep AG, I guess. Before you answer, Jerry Lane jumps in. Jared, he may be known as August Gray now, but he's still our AG. Oh.
Yeah.
Way to go, Jerry.
I don't have a problem with it.
My phone's going off crazy right now.
I don't have a problem with it at all because WWE wants to keep, if Anthony eventually moves on, or say he goes somewhere else, they want to keep that name.
Right.
Obviously, Dean Ambrose is no longer Dean Ambrose. Cody
He
Rhodes
changed that as soon as he could. He wanted to be Moxley in the WWE.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes, he wanted his last name back. They took that from him. So I think in a way it's good for AG because if he does ever leave, maybe he ends up there for the rest of his career. He's not going to have to fight any legal battles for his name. And I think that's his real name. I think Anthony Green.
No, it's not.
It's not?
I'll tell you.
Okay, all right. I thought it was, but okay.
I always did too, but then I came across his personal Facebook page.
Oh, okay. So, either way, I don't have it. When they make his T-shirt, I'll order it.
Right.
But no, he's getting a lot of TV time too. So,
dude, ever since they signed him and he wasn't on TV for like maybe a month, and then he's been on everything pretty much ever since.
He was on pretty quick. So they must like him.
Well, they like him because they know we know how great he is.
Yeah.
They obviously saw how great he was right away down there, or they wouldn't have put him on TV so much.
No. I mean, so I think, a name's a name.
Right.
I don't mind August.
I don't
Gray.
mind the name. I
Yeah.
don't. I mean, like Jerry said, at least he's and Jared said, at least he gets to keep the AG pot. You know?
Yeah.
So he doesn't really lose that, you know.
And-
go back to Anthony Green, like you said, if he's not in the WWE,
Yeah.
no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I think it works. I think it's good. At the end of the day, I think it's good for him.
Me too. All right. Your brother Mike Beaulieu wants to know, why do you think AJ Styles and Nakamura didn't have as much chemistry in WWE as they did in Japan?
My guess would be they just weren't allowed to do what they could do there.
That would be my
You know,
guess.
the agents probably had some say into what went on in the match.
Right.
And it's hard to recreate magic.
True.
You know what I mean? A lot of matches, like if you looked at Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, you're always going to remember that one. 26 was good.
Yeah.
It was not as good as 25.
Right.
Yeah, rematches are tough.
Yeah.
Rematches are very tough.
I don't think Nakamura has really caught on to the WWE fan. All of the things he does, people are like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
And while the hardcore fans like the AEWs who love New Japan
See, I
Pro
love it, yeah,
Wrestling,
yeah.
right? You know what I mean? They love all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's just my take on it. I just I can't see how any little kid is going to get excited about Nakamura walking down, doing his hand sign. You know what I mean? They're looking at the guy like, what is he doing? Because the little kids don't know.
I think if you would have put the title on him and
Yeah.
had him turn heel that night, he'd probably be more popular now.
Oh, yeah.
But they chose not to, which
Right.
is fine. He lost a lot of momentum.
Yes, I
A
agree.
lot of momentum. So
Okay, let's see. What's next? We have your brother Bobby's back. Why would AEW sign 61-year-old Sting to a full-time wrestling
because
contract?
we're talking about it.
Are they desperate?
I don't think they're desperate. I think
No.
Sting was available.
Yep.
He's one of the biggest names in the history of the business.
People were comparing Darby Allin to him, which I don't understand, honestly, because Sting's a beach dude and Darby Allin's a skateboard kid. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
where did people see that? What, because he paints his face?
Maybe.
I don't understand.
I mean, Darby Allin's got a lot of legwork to do to catch up to someone
no
like Sting.
doubt. Yes.
I don't think I have no issue with it. I don't.
Right.
I like Sting.
I
like
don't
seeing
think they're
Sting.
desperate at all. There's no need to be. They got all the money in the world.
Yeah, I mean the Khan family. You know,
Right.
Like, so no, it's not desperate. I think Sting will boost some ratings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's done it yet, but
No, I think he will. I
I-
think he'll bring some wrestling fans that haven't watched it in a while.
yeah,
Might go, hey, Sting's back. I'm watching it for sure.
I want to hear him talk. I mean, I'm interested to see the interview on
Right.
Wednesday. So everybody's a lot of complaining about that, but I like it.
Right.
He's 61. So what?
Right. Well, your brother's not done.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. What
Man.
is it with wrestlers not knowing when it's time to stop? Now, before you say anything,
Sure.
Ric Flair should have been gone 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I understand what your brother's saying here. Like, I loved Ric Flair.
Yeah.
But now he's stuck around so long that I don't see the old Ric Flair that I loved.
Yeah.
I see the bumbling drunk. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's the truth is the truth.
Sure.
That's what I see now when I think, oh, that's what I think. That's what I see when I think of Ric Flair. I
Yeah.
don't see the Ric Flair that's in Texas wrestling Kerry Von Erich and then up in Oregon wrestling the Grappler. And you know what I mean? And that's not the Flair I think of anymore when someone says his name.
Here's the thing about wrestling, I think.
Yep.
Now, if you're used to a life that you've been doing it's not easy to just walk away from it. Now,
I agree.
look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a professional football player, so it's not a predetermined thing.
Right.
And I don't think Tom Brady is ever going to let go playing football.
Right.
He's going to go out like Brett Favre did, face down in the ground.
Yeah.
Difference between football and wrestling is wrestling's predetermined.
Right.
You don't have to be forced out the door.
Right.
Football or baseball, you break down, you're just not that good anymore.
Right.
Wrestling, well, you can have your opponent carry you,
Right.
and keep
Yep.
doing it. So I think that's why they don't let it go, because they don't have to, like in other sports.
And they say it dry, like once they get the bug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like performing in front of people, it's like a drug, man. They say,
Yeah.
they just can't stop. But that was a great question, Bobby. Thank you. All right, Nate. I got no last name. All you told me was his name was Nate.
Oh yeah, my buddy Nate Kiersing. Yeah.
You have a War Games team. You are one wrestler. Who are your three? Who are your other three from any time, and what four do you face?
Oh wow, I should have thought about this more because I knew this question was coming. I would probably take me, Undertaker.
Well, you're already on it.
I'm already on it.
You're
So I'm taking myself.
You can only get three wrestlers.
I'd probably take the Undertaker.
Yep.
I would probably take Kurt Angle.
Yep.
And to round it out, I'm gonna take Matt Riddle. I like that. I like a team of Kurt Angle and Matt Riddle together. So, and then we would face. I want the original Four Horsemen.
Ooh. All right.
The original Four Horsemen: Flair, Tully, Arn, and Ole.
Okay. Nice.
That'd be a War Games match to see.
For me, I want to take on Undisputed Era.
Okay.
And I'd take the Eliminators and Gorgeous Gino Hernandez.
All right.
That's just because those are the guys that are my favorite
Oh,
wrestlers.
the Eliminators had one of the coolest appearances ever on Raw when they when they came.
Was that
out.
unreal?
Yeah, because I didn't know what ECW was at the time.
Right.
So the way they took that guy out, it was like, whoa, that was a cool move.
Total elimination.
So, yeah, they were a great tag team.
My favorite tag team of all time.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like Nate's got more questions.
Okay.
With the new wave of shows, what particularly interests you with the partnership between AEW and Impact?
Like I said, I'd like to see a cup,
Right.
a pay-per-view like that. But I also think you're going to get some dream matches that, you know, you might not get to see. I mean, John Moxley and, oh God, what's his name?
Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards.
Would be really good.
Sammy Callahan and Moxley. They were a tag team, I believe, on the Indies. I would take Rich Swann versus Omega. I'd love to see that.
That'd be a great match.
I'd like to see Cody versus Eddie Edwards. I'd like to see Eric Young versus whoever. I don't know. Eric Young versus Jericho. Eric Young versus.
I guess anyway, Eric Young's good work.
You know, so he's been awesome since he's returned. He's been awesome.
Absolutely.
The Young Bucks versus the Motor City Machine Guns, or the Young Bucks versus
I think
FTF,
that's what I think they are gonna. We're gonna get to see that.
Yeah, or
think so.
the Good Brothers versus FTR.
I gotta ask you this. You brought them up, the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Kyle Anderson, I think, is a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
Luke Gallows, not so much, dude. I just think he looks when you watch Kyle Anderson wrestle, it looks like it could be real.
Yeah.
When you watch Luke Gallows wrestles, it totally doesn't look real at all.
Well, I mean,
and I hate, you know how I am. I love wrestling.
Yeah.
And I hate complaining about it, but I've always thought he's one of the most overrated guys ever.
I mean, what I will say is, he found Carl Anderson, because if you look at Gallows, I mean, when he was Festus and, he'd go into a trance when the bell rang.
He was really good at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that, I think he ended up going to Impact, and I think he joined the Aces and Eights.
Right.
And then he found Carl Anderson, and they've been one of the better tag teams. I mean, I like them both.
Right.
Is Carl Anderson?
I don't like hate the guy. I just don't think he's as good as a lot of people say. That's all. I think Carl Anderson is.
Carl Anderson's the Michaels of the team.
Yeah.
And Gallus maybe is the Jannetty. But I think they're going to be staying together,
Well, you know that Carl Anderson also has, when he wrestled in Japan, he had two different partners that were from New England.
Okay.
The first one was Giant Bernard.
Yes.
Who is Matt Bloom
now running
NXT. The other one was Big Rick Fuller.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really cool to see Rick Fuller go down there for a couple of tours, and they teamed up together with him, and he teamed up with Carl Anderson.
Giant Bernard should have, Matt Bloom should have, the Tenzai gimmick, which
they should have brought him as Giant Bernard. I didn't understand the Tenzai thing.
And then they gave up on it so easily. Yeah. Because if you remember, when he debuted, he beat John Cena and CM Punk back-to-back weeks. Exactly. So you had to tell, they thought they had something big there, but unfortunate. He should have had a better career.
Just saddled with a bad gimmick. Speaking of being saddled with the bad gimmick.
Yeah.
T-Bar. What was wrong with Dominic Dijakovic? Honestly and truthfully, this looks really bad. How do you come back from this?
You keep the mask on. and pretend like it never happened.
Really?
They all should. I mean, Miriam, obviously,
Yeah.
she lost her mask. I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Right.
I think they had an idea for retribution, and then they just didn't really know where it was going to go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is a great
They
idea.
messed it up.
Oh, well, they're going to have them trash this. They're going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great idea, but they didn't know how to.
Right.
I'm still
Who are they
rooting.
going to wrestle and how they going to win?
Yeah, well, they are winning. They did
Some.
win some matches now. I know they beat Mustafa Ali, beat Ricochet. Or
Everybody beats Ricochet, and
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it, Vince.
I'm rooting for them.
Right.
I'm rooting for Dijak. But
Me too.
end of the day, if it doesn't work, keep the mask on, pretend like it never happened, and move on.
All right. I like that. Because it just makes me mad because of him being local guy, and we watched him. You know what I mean? I wanted to see him come out without the mask and be Dijak, Dijakovic, whatever.
Somebody had an idea, and I don't think they waited on it either. I think that idea came backstage one day, and Vince was like, "Yeah, let's do that."
They were doing shots and drinking. Sounds good.
I just think that I think when Vince McMahon thinks an idea is good, he'll just run with it. But the problem is if it runs out of, he'll kill it.
Right.
He'll kill it.
Got it, pal.
What's he say? Such good shit. Oh,
All right. Do you ever see WWE doing business with another major company?
No, they'll do business like with an Evolve, where they're
Like an independent.
it's a feeder to
Right.
WWE.
That's what they should be doing now because they should really. I think that would help. Obviously, when shows open up, obviously, really can't do anything now.
There's nobody else. I mean, Evolve was perfect, and now they couldn't survive the pandemic, so that stinks because those shows were fun.
This is like your blank versus blank.
Sure.
Andre versus Yoko. Who wins and why? Great question, Nate.
We're gonna go with Yoko. Bonsai
Really?
drop. Here's the thing. I like Andre the Giant, but
Are they in the primes of their careers or which? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Yeah.
Times of the career. Okay, so I didn't grow up seeing a lot of Andre the Giant. By the time I started watching, he was already I remember I think he showed up at WrestleMania 7.
Right.
But I didn't see Andre the Giant most of his career. I only could watch it in videos and stuff. But Yokozuna broke my heart several times.
Right.
When he beat Hogan at King of the Ring 93, when he put The Undertaker in the casket at the Royal Rumble 94. He beat Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9, and then Hogan came out, but Yoko was one of the better heels of when I first started watching wrestling. So I love Yokozuna.
I love Yoko too, and I love Andre.
Yeah.
But if I have to go in their prime, I'd have to say no one in the world could beat Andre the Giant. He's just so big. But that's what this is for. You know,
Yoko would do it. Yoko would hit him with the bonsai drop.
I just watched Yoko before he was Yoko in the WWF. You ever see when he was Coquina?
Okay.
Coquina was in the AWA. He was Coquina Maximus. When he came to the WWE at first, or WWF.
Yep.
He was just Coquina. And he did this thing where he was probably 150 pounds, at least lighter than when we saw him as Yokozuna. He hit the ropes and came hit this rope, hit that rope, and then comes up with a big avalanche splash.
Yeah.
Dude, the pop in the crowd. Even I thought he killed the guy. That's how good though Yokozuna.
He could move, and he deserved
He
to
could
be.
really move for a big guy. And look, he was with right
Yeah.
there.
Owen Hart.
One of my favorite wrestlers.
Who I'm wearing this because I got a little feud going with Soapy Pre-Op of the Morse Code podcast.
We're
We're
some help?
Soapy, I'll call you out on this show too, man. You went too far. I'm not a hard guy to find, but
What did he say?
He said some things about Owen Hart that I didn't appreciate, and we're
Come on, not Owen.
we're still trying to figure this out, but he did put out a diss video to me Friday night. But Soapy, again, I'm not hard to find. So we'll leave it at that.
All right.
I love Owen Hart.
I'll never forget that night.
Yeah. No, I will
Okay.
never either.
My son Michael was such a wrestling fan when he was little, obviously.
I think I'm the same age as him. Yeah.
Yes. And he turns around and he calls me crying because he was watching the I wasn't watching it. So back then, remember you could put on the channel and it would be scrambled and you could hear it?
Yep.
So I immediately put it on and I'm listening to it. And finally, his mother gets on the phone, my ex, and she starts hammering, I'll never order a bleep it pay-per-view ever again. This kid's over here crying.
Yeah.
I can't believe you have him watching this stuff. I felt so bad.
I was in 8th grade and I didn't sleep well that night. And, it's a difficult thing because especially when you're young
Right.
and you haven't dealt with a lot of people passing away in your life.
Yep.
And death is a part of life that we all have to accept.
Yes.
But Owen was in your TV screen every single night.
Yep.
And he died on a live show and it felt like someone you actually knew
Right.
died.
I agree.
And it sucked.
Sure did.
It sucked.
Sure did.
Which is why I don't make jokes about it even now.
Right. There's definitely never joke about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
All right. Nate's got 2 more. Did you ever have aspirations of becoming a professional wrestler?
it's a different point. Like I think when I was younger, definitely did.
Yeah.
And I think if the Lobsterman still had the school in Nashua
Yep.
back when I graduated from college, I probably would have dabbled in it
Oh, wow.
if it was still there. It
Right,
wasn't.
right.
I didn't even know what the New England Pro Wrestling Academy was until like 2013.
Right.
So I think if I was around it, maybe more, but I don't think I would have. I would have probably just been one of those people that learned how to wrestle,
Right.
and that's probably as far as it would have gone.
Really? Yeah, I had a couple matches that was.
And maybe be a talking piece or something. But obviously, I don't have the build of a wrestler.
Right. No, I hear you.
But I
A
think
lot of wrestlers that wrestle around here don't have that build
No.
yet either, but some will get it.
no. But I think if there was something, because I remember when I was in high school, Egghead.
Yes.
He did a show
Yes.
at Nashville High.
So first name, real name, Jeff, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. I think I told,
He was a good kid.
I told Mav several times I have these pictures. I can't find them of him wrestling Lobsterman,
Right.
and Butch Hobson was the referee. If that still
Was that at Nashua North?
Nashville South?
South. I
Yeah.
was there that day.
Yeah.
I was there.
To be honest, I mean, obviously, I'm never going to be a wrestler. I'm 36 years old now, but I think if that school was open then, I probably would have signed up for it.
Nice.
But
Awesome.
that's it. That's as
Right.
far as it would have gone.
Right.
It wouldn't have
All
been
right.
anything great.
If so, what prevented you or propelled you? You just weren't into it.
Uh,
Like you said, you would have wanted to do it.
if it was
but-
something local, I mean,
Right.
even like I remember when I was younger. I mean, I don't think I had a reliable car until a few years after college, and,
Right.
to drive somewhere and go. Nothing really. It just wasn't here.
Right.
That's about it. And wrestling school's not cheap either.
No, it's
Like
not.
some like I remember when I did the one day fantasy camp. They went over what the prices were. I was like, oh, if I didn't have student loans, that'd be great.
Right.
You
Right.
know, So, anyways, that's
I hear you. All right. So I told you I want to try to do this new thing,
Sure.
pick 3. And I did it with AJ Phoenix, and it was cool. You got to pick out one out of these 3. Music, TV, or movies?
movies.
Movies. All right. Who's your favorite actor or actress?
Ooh, favorite ever? Oh wow. There's so many. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. And this is TV. James Gandolfini.
Nice.
I love James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
I love The Sopranos.
Okay.
He's probably my favorite in that character.
Favorite movie?
Oh wow, hit me with these. There's so many.
I know.
Wow, favorite movie. It's probably Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Goodfellas. It's a Wonderful Life. Vision Quest, probably. But
Okay.
probably Goodfellas. I mean, I can just put that on anytime and
Right.
just watch it.
Excellent. All right. How about what movie would surprise me that you like, that you love?
Oh,
That
wow.
would surprise me.
To surprise you.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, all right. Yeah. When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah. Billy Crystal and
It's a fantastic movie.
Billy Crystal and
Jesus.
I saw it.
She's very famous.
Julia Roberts.
No, Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan.
That I watched that movie, and because you think it's a chick flick, but
Right.
it's such a layered movie.
Yeah.
Like all these years they were friends and they fall for each other. It's fantastic.
Right. It is good.
I would say people are probably surprised I really love that movie. So
Nice. All right. So let's talk chaotic wrestling.
sure.
I mean, I had no idea about this because have you ever met Donnie Rotten?
No.
Wrestle Donnie Rotten?
No.
Donnie Rotten's a great guy. I met him at our Beyond show. He lives right around there. But he was in the finals to crown the first chaotic champion that was won by Jay Gillette.
Okay.
Back when you didn't go to chaotic.
I
back.
was probably in high school, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went through all these champions, but I just want to bring up a couple guys and see what you think about them. Guys that I think you've seen when you first started going to chaotic shows.
Yeah.
Arch Kincaid.
Don't remember him.
You don't remember?
I
Arch?
think I must have missed him.
Okay.
Did he get signed?
No.
Okay.
He had like reddish hair. He was real. Brian Malonis hates him.
Yeah,
He's a jerk.
He must have, because I started going in 2013, so I probably missed him.
Okay. How about John Walters?
Never saw him wrestling chaotic, but no, he came back.
Yes, remember he did come back.
yeah.
Just recently.
He's good. Nothing that I'm a big fan of that I saw, but again, I don't know his whole body of work.
Right. I think if you would have went to all the shows when he was on, he'd been one of your favorites. There's no doubt about John, one of the best workers ever come out of New England. All right, Maverick Wilds. Did you get to see Mav work a lot?
No, Mav. I think but I did see his WCW match.
Yes.
I will say that he did really well. I mean, for what he had to do there.
Yeah.
He had to take a beating.
Did you ever hear him tell the story on this?
No.
He called Jeff.
Oh yeah.
And then they brought him out back, and they're like, they said, "Do you know what you're doing?" He goes, "Yeah, I go in the ring. Kevin beats me up. He throws me outside.
Jacqueline beat, yeah.
She throws me in the ring. He continues to beat the crap out of me. Throws me back out. She beats the crap out of me some more." And you can picture him saying this, right? And he's, "Oh yeah," and the guy goes, "Am I right? Yep, you're all set." The guy walks away. All he was saying was, "You getting his ass."
Do we know where
Handed
that Nitro was that night? Was it local?
I don't know where that.
Because
That's true.
It would have been cool. I mean, he definitely, from what I saw there, he was someone that could have been on WCW Saturday Night.
Yes.
At that point, maybe he could have gone.
Yeah, like Rick Fuller.
A lot of these guys they had on WCW Saturday Night. Mav definitely could have been doing that.
Oh, no doubt. I remember like the first time I seen Mav wrestle though.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Seriously, like, because I mean, I always went to WWE shows. I didn't go to my first independent show till almost. It was good about 1999, 1998.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those were like my first real indie shows. And those were like Tony Rumbles too. So he had WWE guys coming in too for his shows.
Easiest way to sell a show. I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but I think the easiest way to sell a show, you bring one name in that everybody knows and you're going to get people.
That's your best bet. All right. How about you brought him up a few minutes ago, Sean Burke.
Yeah, I thought Sean Burke was great. They were really pushing him hard when I first started watching Going to Chaotic. And then he lost the title. And then he really didn't get back to the main event.
Right.
They didn't really use him much at all.
It's crazy. He's like that. You know how like Zack Ryder and Brian Myers are the big figure guys from New York. Sean Burke is like the big figure guy in New England.
Oh, I'd have to see his. I mean, my collection's pretty legit. And I bought a few off you.
Yep.
That, so.
All right. How about Chase Del Monte?
One of my favorites of all time.
Happy to see him by Chaotic.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's in good hands because I think he truly is passionate about it. And whether Chase was a heel or a babyface, you wanted to see him because he was going to be one of the most entertaining things on the show, not only in the ring, but on the mic.
Yes.
So.
Oh, yeah, very, very. Guy could talk circles around anybody.
And it just, he'd get into it with, he's just so, I think Kevin Bowe is just a very entertaining human being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So. How about Julian Starr?
Yeah, I remember when he got hurt, and I remember like Markopolis was like celebrating his retirement. He's like, to the retirement of Julian Starr. But when he did come back, I got to see him a lot more, and I always thought he was great. And one of the biggest pops of 2 years ago was when he was in the Chaotic Countdown.
That was crazy.
He
did that moonsault.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, hearing him on your show, though, it just doesn't feel like he loves wrestling anymore.
I wish he did, though, because I mean, he was so talented.
Yeah.
You know?
He's good. He was great. Yeah.
All right. How about Brian Logan?
Oh, yeah. The Logan brothers are great. Both of them,
Yep.
Matt and Brian.
Do you remember Nick at all?
No.
No.
No, I never
Nick,
saw
Nick wrestled for a while, too.
Well, I know they help. I think they all help with Doughboys and Lowell.
Yes.
Um,
but I think Nick's like the main guy, right? Like the
he must be up there.
I'm pretty sure like So is Brian and Matt part of that too?
I've seen them wear the shirts.
Oh, nice.
I used to have coached a lot of kids that would go to Doughboys
Right,
or they'd
right.
go to Smitty's Barn and stuff
Yep.
like that. So it definitely helps kids get much better.
Right.
You know.
Lowell has always been a very rich amateur wrestling city.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
George Bossy, one of the most famous amateur wrestling coaches, high school coaches you'll ever find, coached at Lowell for like 20 years, left, came back again. I mean, guy's a legend.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Tommaso Ciampa? Who
Yeah.
just saw last night take on Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, that was great. I picked Thatch because we do this pick'em group, and I threw a wild card. I said we're gonna pick the NXT pay-per-view tonight. I picked Thatcher because I just assumed
Right.
knew where he's gonna go over. Everything I saw, Tommaso Ciampa was great.
Yep.
I mean, what can you say?
Right.
The guy's fantastic.
You know, when he went after Thatcher, it was after kind of how he had beat up AG. And I thought they were going to try to say, you know what I mean? Maybe say how they knew each other,
Yeah.
you know, but I was surprised when they didn't because that's the first thing I thought of when he did that, you know, like you like to pick on people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm always going to, stick up for AG.
One of
But
the
it didn't
coolest,
happen.
one of the coolest local NXT things I ever saw was in Lowell.
Yeah.
At not Saugus, but the other one. I can't.
Auditorium.
Auditorium.
When Joe won the title that night?
No,
Okay.
but they did a house show, and it was Ciampa, and Dijak was barely on TV at that
Right.
point, but they had Dijak versus Ciampa as like a New England thing,
Nice.
and that place was going
Right.
as Gorilla Monsoon. This place is going bananas, you know.
That's cool
So-
because they had, with the night Joe won the title, Tommaso fought Biff.
yeah,
So that was really cool.
you got to give the local audience
You
what
know.
they want, you know.
But all right, listen, we got a little over a minute left. Why don't you plug your show, plug social media, plug anything?
Yeah,
You know?
well, so my show is Let Freedom Ring with Dan Beaulieu. Airs on Merrimack TV on the local public access. We're now going to be able to watch on the Fire Stick, Apple TV.
Oh, really?
They're doing big things here
Dude,
in
that's
Merrimack.
pretty awesome. Dick,
So-
did you hear that?
yeah, they're doing a lot, and then obviously my YouTube channel, which is
Right.
Let Freedom Ring with Dan Beaulieu.
Yep.
And social media, Let Freedom Ring with Dan Beaulieu on Facebook and Instagram. But you're having a blast doing it, and
You should.
know,
You're good at it.
yeah.
You know?
it's probably
You
something I
really
should have been doing years ago. So, better late than never.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's awesome. I hope I'll be another guest down the
Oh, of
line. I
course.
can wait, though, obviously, but it's been great being on your show.
Yeah.
And I still can't believe I really swear to God, I only thought I was on twice. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
when you posted the
You've
other
been
one.
on
I'm
some
like,
historic ones again.
Wow.
First ever, and the first time back in the studio. So,
Well, I appreciate that very
yeah,
much. my
yeah.
friend.
Thank you for having me, Leo.
You'll
Always
be
a
back
pleasure.
again. Don't worry.
Can't
We got to
wait.
get you for 10. Guys, we're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.